the latest. Thank you for all love and support. I appreciate you all. Shout out to all my VIP, my kings and queens, my anonymous supporters, my members, the new and old. I say thank you so much for supporting the channel. A lot has been happening in the continent. We have been crying that things are not right and we expect our leaders to act. But they have always stayed in silence. But now they are panicking. There is panic in AU. According to the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, we should be preparing for more coup d'etats in Africa. That whenever we see that there are coups in Africa or coups somewhere, it tells you that things are not right. And the people have stayed silent for a very long time over something that they are not pleased with. And that one is very true because Africans, we have been calling on our leaders to act in the interest of the continent. We are seeing that we are backwards as a result of certain things that they are not doing right. And always these our leaders are not listening to us. It's like whenever we give power to the leaders in Africa, we the ones that gave them the power become powerless. And they rather become powerful. So it's what they want that they do in Africa. But one time a brother from Cameroon said, it's not our fault, it's because these people were given to us and not that we, the majority, elected them.
About the coup in Guinea-Bissau. Even now I'm not sure really what happened. But when I heard it first, I thought somebody was carrying a coup against himself. That was my first reaction. It didn't appear to me like there was a real coup taking place. Even now, I need some time to confirm. But let me assume it happened, or that in Madagascar happened. For sure it happened, because I think somebody's on the run and there's another one sitting there. To begin with, it means I'm vindicated in what I said that you referred to. And maybe we'll have more coups. And so be it. That is my approach to that question. If there are going to be more coups anywhere around the continent, so be it. Because I also believe, true, where coups are taking place, there must be something wrong that has been happening, even all along. You can assume, you can read stories, you can see and appreciate and like something, but once there is a coup, maybe 90% plus, it means in that place there has been a problem people have been not talking about or covering up or something. Now, I don't know whether you want again my opinion, which I have. Because what is interesting, some of these coups are happening in a place where they are happening in places where these people who make judgment about us, the West, have been praising leaders. Okay? These coups only happen to tell these people you've been telling lies. Tell me, and maybe you can think about it and investigate and find out later, you'll tell me later. If this coup is not a coup against, let's say in Guinea-Bissau, what do you know about Guinea-Bissau that tells you, you know what? Such a coup should not have happened. What is it? Because, or even go to Madagascar and tell me, you know, the way I know Madagascar, the way I've seen, why should the coup have happened? When we ask ourselves the questions in that form, we might then get to understand whether there are underlying problems or there haven't been, somebody just out of madness acted and overthrew government. So the young people you talked about, you call them Gen Z?
Yes.
Well, why did you go to Z before you went to Gen Zero? I mean, the last resort, maybe. Is that what it means? I'm just guessing. Still there an expression that something is amiss. It may not even mean that they are always right. You see? But I would rather than, for those of us who are still around and don't want to be overthrown, we may need to find a way of making these young people responsible also, so that they feel they are part of, and therefore no need to overthrow. You see what I mean? Because there are so many, they can't all also be operating recklessly, collectively. Maybe some young, some hot heads among them can mobilize others, but still to move the whole mass to do something. So before they do that, it's our responsibility maybe to do something so that they have no need to do that. Because where does it end up anyway? I haven't had, except in a very distant place, but also differently. I haven't had any of these ones go through that process and becomes the leader. So they always end somehow, maybe for another year, for another term, okay? There is a way to do things and to have a conversation in a manner that they become part of. And they become part of, if a country, because countries have problems, mine has problems. And people necessarily do not get everything they want, because there are real problems that people say, this country, if I use my example, wouldn't have everything as they wish to have it. But it is my duty, and for those other leaders of this country, to be out there transparently explaining to people why there are these problems, and show the effort you are making, and also that it involves them to try and deal with this problem. If somebody has a problem they understand, they won't be violent. They'll even be more sympathetic. They'll be a bit sympathetic because they know somebody, let's say you may say you want a road there. People may say, I want to see a road 100 kilometers from here to there, tarmac road. But if I go to them, I say, you know what? I'm really trying to put this road because I also think it should be there. But the resources we have, the envelope, so small that we have to split it in so many things, hospitals, schools, this and that. So I'm still falling short of the budget to take care of these roads. So please bear with me. And then I will also tell them, you see, in our tax revenues, we are trying to get money from, but you're also not paying up. You are dodging taxes, you are doing this. So please, if you have, I'll make sure that your money, we'll find a way to making this road. Or, you see, they were used to having these powerful people, the donors, giving money, and they'll tell them, you know what, they no longer give you money. You were used, you were spoiled that these people would provide money, but they are no longer showing up. Maybe they all have their own roads to build too, and the money is falling short. So, and say, but bear with me, but let's be together. So if you are transparent and they understand, they don't have that thing because it's not your problem. It's not somebody who got the money and took it in corruption or something. Why would anybody get angry with me if I have explained like that? But if they suspect, no, but you're not sure, you're not taking this money for yourself, they will not be sympathetic. They may even tell me lies and laugh and clap and like they have listened to me, but in their hearts they are keeping a grudge with me. Yes. So one day they will show up on the street. If it's the road, it's a hospital, it's this, it's that, and then later on they get news about this man who is not, he's building a castle in Paris or in Brussels or in New York. They will come for your throat. Yes, they will. It becomes only a matter of time. They'll come for, they'll come at you and you'll face it. So, but for the coups, for me, I summarize what I've said before. In a way, maybe, there are good coups and bad coups. There might be a coup by somebody who got high-handed and high anyway, just not handed, but high, and became reckless and thought because he has a gun he will go and take power. That's a bad coup. But if somebody, a group of people say, no, enough is enough. These guys have been telling us lies. They've been doing this. They are enriching themselves. They are cheating us. We can't have it anymore. It's stinking. And they go for whatever form they do it. I think I'm okay with it. I know I'll be misunderstood, but I'm happy to taking the risk. I'm okay with that. But not entirely okay until I see that somebody who did that, or people who did that, and they were sick and tired, and that was justification, until they are seen to be making a difference, then I'll be, I feel settled in my mind. But if you come and do the very things you overthrew people for, or do worse, then why did you carry out the coup? I will just say, no, this one deserves another coup, or should go to jail. Yes. Now, here is another tricky part there. You see, there are these coups, people really have a knee-jerk reaction about coups. It's a coup, everybody, that one should face the barrel of the gun. Let's now, before the coups, talk about that situation. If you have a constitutional government led by civilians, and they are killing their own people, they are mismanaging everything, they are taking all the resources of the country for themselves and taking it outside and literally destroying the countries they lead. And then there comes an election after 4 or 5 years or whatever. You know what happens? People should also get tired of this. If you have that record, if you have that history, should it be automatic that you should continue just because you are a civilian and even when you cheat elections? Do you get it? Because it has almost become automatic that if you are there, you are sure of winning the next election. Okay? Even when you are doing all these terrible things to your own people. So, is it justified to say, yes, this one, even to say at least what? At least he's a civilian, or at least he kills a few people, or fewer people, or what? Do you really, can that be a justification? Now, when I'm saying that, there should therefore be a mechanism, maybe at the African Union level, to also hold people, the civilians, who are messing up their countries and who are cheating elections every other day, and they keep going just because they are civilians and just because they are. But the Constitution does not provide for you to cheat the elections, does it? Again, there's a funny example in our neighborhood. This Congo we are struggling with, we are talking about. This man who raises the whole world and causes all kinds of troubles. When was he elected? No, you seriously, you here, tell me when. First time? The second time? No, you are silent, but you should be giving, you must be knowing something. But the first time he was just handed over by his friend. Somebody should have had won. This is public knowledge. In this one, there was a smoke screen here about election, but elections did not happen. In fact, you are likely to have a third one. It's coming. There's another third time it's coming back under the same fraudulent thing. But when you see these people who talk about democracy, about everything, and it's like they're the first to send messages, thank you very much, congratulations, and even when they are privy to this information, they know it. Sometimes maybe they even encourage them to do it. They give them a call in the evening and say, please, by the way, I have a company that is looking for cobalt. Are you aware of that? Company X that is, can you give them, what do they call it? like concessions. Can you give them? He said, yeah, of course I do. Okay. That is a deal. A deal for cobalt, a deal for winning elections even if nothing happens, or to win even when he has lost. I mean, you must be aware of these things and how they go. So you can crucify me for my crimes, but when it comes to you, as I also said, I talk about it. So why this world we are in, it's not playing ping pong. It's just because at the same time we are talking about lives of people, right?
There are a lot of things that are happening in the continent, and our leaders are very much aware. They only tell us what they want to do in speech, and that is when they have their African Union Summit, the regional bloc summits. That's when they will come and read beautiful speeches to us, and nothing happens unless the next time or the next year they are having that meeting again. So we have been calling on our leaders to act right. The president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, also said the same thing, that the youth are yearning for coups, and we are no longer interested in democracy. We've seen that that system is not helping us. We've seen that democracy is the reason to which our leaders are acting the way they are doing. We want leadership by actions and not by speech. We have heard speech upon speech for decades and centuries now. Nothing is happening ever since our freedom fighters left us. The people who planned and fought for their continent, all the ideas of them that need to be implemented in Africa is left somewhere. The people that they are pushing us away from are the ones that we are not dining with. It has turned out that practically Africa is doing things to favor other people and not to favor the African. Look at the current one in Tanzania, for instance, that we expect these leaders to come out with a bold statement to call the woman to order. They are all quiet. So why won't we be wishing for coups? And why won't we want the military to take over so that we can see a change? But it has turned out with what is happening in Guinea-Bissau, that even the military that we are yearning for, majority of them are still not ready to save their continent, but they rather want to be puppets alongside with our politicians. The politicians failed us big time, and that is why now we are tired of all these things that we are seeing and all the speeches from these people. We just want a revolution and a new system of governance, and that is what Captain Ibrahim Traore said. We need to have our own model. The model that we are using belongs to other people and it's not favoring the African. And we cannot continue to be holding on to this model that is favoring other people and not the African. This one doesn't understand the problem of the African to talk of solving it. It's a system of other people. And we don't even understand the system. Like one time, Professor Lumumba said, we are holding on to the system called democracy, but we don't actually understand. And the people who understand it because it belongs to them are using it in their favor while we suffer. So we need to come together as a people. Coups are not bad, unlike what they told us. What we are seeing today, like in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, are the best, because we are seeing a transformation in Africa. So these are the kind of leaders we are looking for in the military to take over power so that we can save Africa. We can save our resources. We can save the dignity of the African. This is what the youth are crying for and nothing more. That the leaders in African Union fail to give out to the people. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. In Africa,